My girlfriend demands I delete all photos of my late wife from 20 years ago because it makes her uncomfortable, so I showed her exactly why that would never happen. My wife died when our daughter Emma was only 3 years old. Cancer took her in 6 brutal months. For 17 years after that, it was just me and Emma against the world. I worked 2 jobs to keep us afloat, helped with homework every night, and learned how to braid hair from YouTube videos at 2 a.m. before school picture days. I kept 1 photo album in my office, nothing excessive, just the important moments. Wedding photos, Emma's birth, birthdays, holidays at the beach, the normal stuff families collect over the years. I also had 3 framed pictures in the living room. Our wedding day, Emma as a baby with her mom, and one of all 3 of us at Disney World 6 months before she passed. When I started dating Sarah 6 months ago, I thought she understood my situation. She knew I was a widower with a grown daughter. She'd seen the photos during her first visit to my house and told me it was beautiful that I honored my wife's memory. She even got emotional looking at the Disney photo, saying she could see how happy we all were. Things moved pretty quickly between us. She started staying over on weekends, met Emma a few times, and we'd even talked about her eventually moving in. I genuinely thought I'd found someone who could accept my past while building a future together. Last week was Emma's 20th birthday. I threw her a small dinner party at my place. Just me, Emma, Sarah, and a few of Emma's college friends. It was a good night. Emma was happy, Sarah seemed to enjoy herself, and everything felt normal. But afterwards, once everyone had left and Emma went home to her apartment, Sarah pulled me aside in the kitchen. Her whole demeanor had changed. She wasn't smiling anymore. She said that watching Emma hug that photo of her mom during the birthday toast had made her realize something. She felt like she was competing with a ghost. Every time she came over, she saw those pictures and felt like an outsider in what should be our home. Then she dropped it. She wanted me to put the photos away. Not throw them out. She wasn't a monster, she said, but store them somewhere Emma and I could look at privately. She suggested I keep maybe 1 small frame in my bedroom, but remove everything from the common areas. I just stared at her. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I told her no, those photos weren't negotiable. They were part of my home, part of my history, and part of Emma's connection to her mother. Sarah's face hardened. She said she'd been patient for 6 months, but if we were going to build a life together, I needed to make space for her. She couldn't feel like a guest in her own relationship. I reminded her that I'd never asked her to compete with anyone. My wife was gone. These were just photographs. She doubled down, said if I really loved her, I'd prove it by showing I could let go of the past. She even pulled up Amazon on her phone and showed me these digital photo frames where you could upload hundreds of pictures and they'd cycle through automatically. She offered to buy one for my office so I could keep the memories, but not have them displayed everywhere. 1 rotating digital frame for 20 years of marriage and memories. I felt my chest tighten. This wasn't about compromise. This was about erasure. I didn't respond right away. Instead, I told her I needed to think about it, and she left frustrated. The next day, I asked Emma to come over for coffee. I needed to hear her perspective before making any decisions. When I explained what Sarah had asked for, Emma went completely quiet. She stared at her mug for a long moment, then looked up at me with tears in her eyes. Dad, I look at those pictures every single time I visit. They're the only way I can remember her face clearly without having to pull out my phone and scroll through old photos. When I'm here, I feel like she's still part of our family. That hit me like a truck. Emma continued. She said Sarah had never once asked her how she felt about anything. Not about the photos, not about their relationship, not about the possibility of Sarah moving in someday. It was like Emma didn't even factor into Sarah's vision of our future. And that's when I realized the truth. Sarah didn't just want the photos gone. She wanted my entire life before her to disappear so she could pretend she was my first and only priority. I called Sarah that night and told her it was over. She completely lost it, started yelling through the phone, accusing me of choosing a dead woman over a living one, said I'd wasted 6 months of her life and that I'd clearly never moved on. I let her finish, then said something I'd been holding back. I'm not choosing my late wife over you. I'm choosing my daughter. And if you can't understand why those pictures matter to her, then you never understood what being part of this family actually meant. She hung up on me.